Yeah, just to give a very brief introduction, I'm Ezekiel Kuhoga. I'm living here in Kuopio, Finland. Yes, and one of my goals, objectives now is to help out other international talents, such as myself, in finding out ways that we can use our talents, but also use our talents to contribute, but also to benefit from the Finnish society that surrounds us. But also, another thing is to be able to understand the community well, basing on how they operate themselves, the values, the fundamentals, so that we can have that 100% compatibility with the society. Yes, I have today one guest. So maybe later, I think later we will have a discussion after some time. So maybe you can come here on the screen so that we can. Okay, no problem. You can contribute from your desk. Yeah, so briefly, that is an introduction. And now I will go to the presentation. I am not sure if this thing will keep on working. I'm not really sure, but let me hope that it will work as much as I'm hoping it will, because I want to switch now to the full mode, like presentation mode here. So let's hope that this thing will work out. So as I've mentioned, I'm going to discuss about things that really count when looking for a job in Finland, especially for us as foreigners here in Finland. But the message should be suitable for anyone from all parts of the world. This message should be suitable, but I'm tailoring it to the community, international community that resides here in Finland. So why did I say, why did I decide to come up with this presentation? The reason is that there has been a challenge when it comes to international people looking for job here in Finland. Yes, first of all, we hear, according to the narratives, that majority of foreigners, they are not employed because they are foreigners. But even when you are getting actually, it's very rare to get a feedback from the applications that you have sent, from the companies that you have sent your application to. So in this sense, it's hard to know even what you should work on. What is the problem? It's very rare. And the few people who share feedback, I think maybe there are two common answers. Number one, they would say, I'm sorry, we cannot proceed with you. Actually, three answers. Number one, I'm sorry, we cannot proceed with you. So try again another time. That's one of the answers. But number two, I'm sorry, we had another better candidate. But number three, maybe they will say, you don't have enough experience. Oh, the language. Sometimes they'll say because of the language. Yeah, which I believe they are not really enough reasons to allow you to know what really is the problem. Because rejection is not a problem. Basing on my own opinion, being rejected is not a problem, but the problem is when you are not able to tell why you have been rejected. That's when the problem starts, because now you don't know what's the problem. So you will go to another employer, maybe do the same thing again. You will go to another employer again, do the same thing again, and at the end of the day, you might be rejected to all employers, maybe because of one minor problem, which the employers they don't want to tell you. That's why I said I should come up with this presentation so that we can all discuss and see what's going to be. This presentation should take about maybe 20 to 30 minutes. After that, I'm expecting to have a moment of discussion. So I actually agreed with one of my friends and a follower here on TikTok that he might join me for a discussion so that he can also share some of his insights. So I will also allow now. I have no idea how to do this, but I will try to allow few people to join on this platform so that we can discuss together. I'm talking about the TikTok live because I'm live on TikTok. I'm live on Facebook. I could not go live on YouTube, but I'm recording, of course. So later on, I will try to combine the videos together so that we have one video which is appealing. Yeah, so that's the thing. Before I start talking, let's discuss about my own story, because some people I've seen some comments on TikTok videos. Some people, they say, most of my comments, I'm saying this because I'm being favored by the government. They see me as somehow being favored and given the opportunity just freely. That's why I'm praising, because some people think I'm praising Finnish government at some point. Yeah, so maybe I should tell you a little bit of my story, how I came up to understand most of the things that I'm sharing on social media, and also why do I have the coaching program here, which I call Talent Mindset Coaching. I graduated master's degree in photonics or physics, if you don't understand, or optics, which is somehow closer, in year 2018, very long time ago. Yes, and I have been very active in looking for a job. Even before I graduated, I was sending a lot of applications. Not only sending applications, I was visiting the companies in person, asking if they have any opportunity, asking for opportunity to volunteer. So I made a lot of effort. I was very active when searching for jobs. I connected with a lot of programs which is going on. I even actually participated in one of the entrepreneurship competition. They say actually it was year 2017, and I even won 4,000 euros as a startup entrepreneur. Actually, I only ended up spending only 500 euros, because you had to spend and then they refund you. Yeah, but I was not able to go far because I was also split. I have to do entrepreneurship, but I also have to look for an income to survive in Finland. Yeah, so I stopped. But I was very, very active. Yes, I landed my first job in the same year, 2018. Actually, this was a posty job. I was very fortunate. Yes, so I did that job for about, I think, 3 months. For about 3 months, and then I landed to my second job, which was cleaning. Actually, it was like a gem in those times. Yeah, because the monthly salary was about 2,000 euros, and 2018 2,000 euros, that was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, and plus that they were giving a permanent contract, indefinite. Yeah, so as an immigrant, I had to find ways to protect my resident permit, my status, and that was one among the best places. Yeah, but my point, why do I want to share about this is this is why I came to learn about the network. I will talk about it later, but we have seen this narrative. Or if you have not heard about this, there is a saying which says that about 80% of jobs, 80% of jobs nowadays, they are hidden. Now, the contexts are different, when people are discussing about this. Some people say 80% of jobs, they are not published at all. Actually, it's plus or minus. If you look at different sources, some will say maybe 60, some will say 75, some will say 80, but 80% is where I've seen from most of the places. And so what happens is that 80% of jobs are hidden, or they are being published, but they are not truly public. I will discuss about this later. Yeah, so they are not truly public. So if you see 200 jobs on the page, that means minimum of 80 jobs, they are not truly public jobs. Somebody had already secured that job even before it was announced. So only less than 20 jobs from those 100 jobs are the ones which could be truly public. And so the whole population, you could be fighting against this 20%. So that's the meaning that's the effect of networking when it comes to job seeking. Yeah, so this is where I learned about networking even before I met this concept. Why? Because in this cleaning job, I did not apply for it. Yeah, all I did was calling my friends who had graduated before me, telling them I was looking for a job. So I was trying to tell everybody, my teachers at the university, everyone. So just one person, when he heard about this opportunity from another city, he called me and asked me if I'm willing to join. And I said, yes. He connected me with the boss, and the boss said, yes, now everything is cool. So now I'm going to announce the position. And they did announce the position so that I can apply as a formality. Again, 8 out of 10 jobs, they are being handed over like that nowadays. Connection first, and then you apply later. Yeah, so that was one. But number two, 2019, I got another job from Aalto University as a research assistant. Again, I also got this job through networking. I was just told by somebody there's an opportunity, and then I got connected, and then I got a job. Of course, the plan was to proceed with a PhD. Unfortunately, things didn't go as well as I wish they should have gone. And I was also fighting for my resident permit. Yeah, and I could not secure any funding for my PhD, and I had to drop the PhD, and I fell back on my cleaning job because of the security that I got there. Yeah, and year 2022, I managed to get 4 interviews. How it came? Actually, you all know how difficult it is to land on an interview. Yeah, because of the number of people that could apply for a certain job. Yeah, but what happened in the year 2022? I registered as a job seeker through this TE office, and lucky enough, I was assigned to should I say recruit? It was a project under the city, which was to help immigrants look for job. Yes, and lucky enough, I was in that project. There was one lady who was in charge of that. I think she had lived with other international before, African to be specific. So she understood Africans as well, and I think she was not that prejudiced when we met, and she was open to hear from me. So we sat down, we talked, and she understood my potential and the talents and everything. And then she started to speak on my behalf to the companies. That's how I ended up getting up to 4 interviews within a period of, I think, of 1 to 2 months, up to 4 interviews. Yes, and at the last moment of that project, I ended up getting 2 jobs at once. And the amazing thing is that I already mentioned this is in one of my previous sessions, that in one of the companies, this was a solar company. They produce solar equipment in a city called Yuva. If you're going to Helsinki from Kuopio, think about 1.5 hours. You should go maybe maybe 15 minutes. You should go to the city called Yuva. So I was able to get this offer from that company. And the surprising thing is that the managing director of that company could not speak even English. He was really struggling, but he begged me to stay in that company. He insisted that please come and work. We need you here. Basing on what I've heard about you, I think we need you here. So that gave me another lesson. Like, oh my God. So he had to learn about me first. Yes. But I got another job also at the same time. Also, this another job was through networking. Somebody has spoken for me to someone, and then I was called in for an interview. They said, would you like this job? I said, yeah. And they said, oh, please send us your CV and send an application later. Then I was connected like that. So that's how it went. And that's when I understood the power of networking. That's why I'm speaking very, very boldly about networking thing, because it works, and I have witnessed it myself. So let's go now to discuss what are the things that are affecting, when you are looking for a job here in Finland. What are the things you should observe or you should pay attention to? Because at the moment, the most common reason you will hear is Finnish language. Why you can't find a job? They will tell maybe because you don't speak Finnish language. Yeah, which I'm not saying it's not true, but I would say it's only a minor case. This is very small factor of all other factors that are contributing to you not finding a job. So I think some people, they just don't have enough time to sit down and tell you everything like, okay, man, this and this and this and this counts. But they will go for the most obvious reason. They will say, do you speak Finnish? If you say no, they'll say, yeah, that's the reason you don't find any job. If you speak Finnish, then they will try to find another thing. Okay, maybe, it takes time, keep on looking for a job, something like that. But the truth is, there are many factors. If you get time to sit down with the employers, to sit down with the people in high offices, they will tell you, because I've been lucky. Actually, with this initiative that I'm doing now, I have it's detected that the live didn't appear on your screen in the past 2 minutes. I don't know. I'm getting some notification. I wonder, maybe I could be talking and the presentation is not live. Thank you, all of you who are giving me feedback. At least now I know my presentation is live. Yeah, this is the feedback that I wanted to get. Yeah, so what was I talking? Yeah, so even if you talk to people from high office, they would tell you. So through this initiative, I said I want to talk to anyone. So I've been approaching Finnish entrepreneurs. I've been approaching different employers. I've been approaching some head of schools. asking them why do they think it's challenging to hire immigrants. Few, they could not cooperate with me in time, but with persistence, at the end of the day, they told me, like, to be honest, language is not the only thing. Yeah, but it's an easy feedback to give. Yeah, that's why I said I should do this. So this is the thing which I already discussed, that 80% of all published jobs are not truly public. This is true. And even if you would decide to Google it now, to browse it on any browser, you will find the same thing. Just try to type this statement on your browser, that 80% of all jobs are not truly public. You will see. Actually, there could be some variation. Some would say 60, some 75%, as I stated before. But this is true. So if you see 10 jobs published on a particular site, there is a big chance that 80 jobs are not truly public. Maybe they have already been taken by somebody. But, businesses are being forced to operate like, the policies that every opportunity should be available to the public. It should be available to the public. But the thing is, business owners, they just can't give opportunity to anybody. As a business owner, your first preference is somebody you believe can produce a value to the company. And I clearly understand, because I've also owned actually a business, and now it's dead because I hired some people whom I thought they were good and they weren't good. So my business died. So I clearly understand this, that you would prefer to get somebody they can produce value, but not only value. You'd still prefer somebody you can trust in their character. Like, these people, won't they steal from me if I'm not around? Yeah, we all know, for example, in my country now, I will be referring to my country because I'm from my country and I've lived there. We have reached to the extent where business owners, they have to be around if they want their business to succeed. The moment they go out, then the employees, they will do everything stupid. And they are, most of them, and I'm boldly saying most of them because this is the majority problem. And I think most of the African countries, we could be sharing the challenge. I'm not sure. That when the owner is not around, they will try to steal to the extent that it will even affect the outcome. Even the profit can be lost if you're not around. And then when you're around and you're strict, then you can see everything comes back to normal. So that's one of the things, like, as an employer, you have to be very much confident, like, okay, this guy, he will not steal from me if I'm not around, even for a year or so, at least. Yeah, that. There is a big number of job seekers compared to the available vacancies. You would see 2 vacancies announced, but we have 500 applicants. So you definitely see the chance of getting a job. That's another challenge. Yes. So you can see, for example, every year we have fresh graduates from different levels. We have graduates from masters and PhDs. We have graduates from bachelor degrees. We have graduates from applied universities. We have graduates from these now small universities where a student can, from high school, then they will join this, for example, Amatikolu. So we have a lot of graduates every year, but do we have the same proportion of vacancies every year? That's another question. Definitely not. So that's why I commented in one of the videos that it should be hard to get a job, because we are always fighting against very, very narrow pathway, and we are so many of us. So that's another reason why finding job should be hard, not just in Finland. This is throughout the world. But also, now this is specifically for those mostly, I would say, in European countries. Yeah, European countries, maybe in US. I've never lived in US, so I cannot really tell. But there is a role of stereotypes and racism. When we talk about stereotype, what I can comment is this. You can never avoid to have a certain stereotype about some people. You can never avoid that. It can never be empty. As long as you have heard about particular people, even if you have not heard about any story, you will try to have your own imagination. You can never keep this stereotype vessel empty. There is no such thing as empty stereotype. You will always have an imagination of people about a particular thing. And when you start now to hear story about certain people, then your imagination is now being characterized in a particular manner depending on the story that you hear. Yeah. So in this case, some employers, particularly in Finland, they have heard stories about certain people. They have heard stories about the American people. They have heard stories about the Asians. They have heard stories about the Africans, and that shapes their stereotype about these people. That's one of the ways stereotype can be formed. But also, some employers, they have actually been in contact with some of the people from certain places. This also forms another stereotype. So, for example, if one employer has worked with a Tanzanian before, and that guy who has worked before, maybe he misbehaved in some way, he stole something, or he was late, it's easy for an employer to say these people are this way. And that's what we have also seen in relationships. Maybe a lady can fall in love with a guy from Nigeria, and that guy, at the end of the day, he broke her heart, and then she will say, Nigerians, they break people's hearts. We have all seen those kind of things. So this is another way people can form a stereotype. But also, employers can build particular beliefs now, depending on these stereotypes and interactions. They can build a certain belief pattern about certain people, which at the end of the day is affecting the access. It's affecting the access of these people to the opportunities. Even if you demonstrate a particular value, as long as they have already put you in a certain category, they will always stay far from you. Now, the stereotype, it works for some people, but also it works against some people. For instance, I would say most of the European people from European countries, maybe in America, who are white, most of the stereotype, they work for them, I would say. Because even if they would come to Africa, let's say in my country, in Tanzania, the predominant belief about white people is that they are kind. They are kind, they are honest, they are always faithful. So even if they would come and ask for any opportunity, it doesn't take a lot of effort. Yes, but when it comes to Africans, relating to the stories that have been told, and lazy, unhonest, thieves, corruption. Though corruption, for example, it happens throughout the world. Corruption happens everywhere, including Finland. We have had cases of corruption. Yeah, but somehow it has been characterized to a particular group of people. And because of that, any employer, when he sees you, they see corruption, they see theft, they see laziness, they see anything. So they would not give you any opportunity. And this is actually happening also in Finland. But this is not something you would hear openly. No employer would say, I'm sorry because of this. Don't worry. I will tell you later what you need to do. I will tell you later. There is a solution. Yes, but also there is racism. Racism, of course, sometimes it's just hate, but also ignorance. If you don't understand people enough, so you only end up being fed information from some people, and you are being made to believe and to hate. This goes beyond the stereotype. Stereotype is only, you get the story, and then that's how you understand about people. But racism, you are being imparted with also hate. Don't do these things to people. Don't do these things to people. A particular person can have a stereotype, for example, about me. Maybe these people can be, lazy and thieves. But he can decide to give you a chance. Like, okay, let me give him a chance. I want to see. Is he really a theft or what? And most of the kind people, they are like this. It's not that they don't have the wrong or the negative stereotype about other people, but at least they go one extra step to give a chance. Like, okay, let me give him a chance. And most of the people, they're like, oh my God, we are so surprised. We never thought you could have done this. We never thought you could have been this honest. We never thought you could have been this faithful. Yeah, so that also, it has happened. Another factor which affects the availability of jobs is fear. Fear from the employers, of course, I've already discussed a little bit, which is connected to stereotype and racism. But sometimes the employers ask themselves, is he as good as he claims? You can claim on your CV, you have managed business, you can do programming, but we all know that not everything written on the CV is always as good as it can be claimed. I can give you an example. In my country, actually, not just in my country, in my class, during my bachelor degree, we studied coding, and we did two languages. We did MATLAB, but also we did object-oriented programming language, something like that. And I don't know if you would believe me, but we started this by reading on the board and writing on the paper. So you have to remember how this code, but we never sat down and do the programming on computer. Yeah, so I can claim that I know programming because I've studied. But if I've not interacted with the PC, then it might take me a long time to catch up with the phase after I start to interact with the real thing. Yeah, so sometimes that's the case. Some employers are afraid. If you're not as good as you claim, maybe it might cost them time. It might cost them some profit, and they don't want to go through that. But also another factor which affects getting job here in Finland, most of the employers, according to the feedback I received, they are worried. Are you going to stay around? If you are a foreigner here in Finland, will you stick around? Yeah, some employers, they don't discuss, but they've been hearing from some people after coming to Finland, then they're like, oh my God, I want to go to US, I want to go to Canada because there are maybe more opportunities there. And they're like, we might hire this guy and then in 2 months he's not here. We better find somebody we are sure he's going to stay here for 10 maybe years. Yeah, but the thing is, when they ask you, so what's your plan? Are you going to stay in Finland or not? Then you're like, well, if I get a job, I might stay. If I don't, maybe I might have to leave. That statement, though it makes logic, but it tells the employer that you have not rooted yourself in this place. They would rather find somebody who says, I have a family here, so I cannot leave this place. They would rather, and I think this is one of the reasons why it's easy to get a job if you have a family. If they know you have your wife or your husband, you have children here, then at least it gives confidence like, okay, maybe these guys, they will stay here longer. Maybe we can give them an opportunity. Yeah, but another fear, of course, I've already mentioned, sometimes employers, they don't want to spend a lot of time training. Majority of the employment opportunities, they always come from the startups or at least middle level businesses, but most of the big companies, they are always full. Yeah, so most of the startups, it is kind of weird for them to hire beginners. They want to catch up on the speed. So that's why they would always try their level best to demand, we need 1 year experience, we need 5 years experience, so that they know if you come, then within 1 week, you have already caught up with the speed. You are producing anything that you're supposed to produce. So if you are a beginner, you have just graduated, you are fresh, then they will definitely avoid you. They would rather look for someone who has already been hired, maybe offer him a little bit more on his salary so that at least he can come and, catch up with the momentum that they want to use. Motor fire, you're saying language, the common one. I don't understand what was your point. Actually, I don't know if I will be able to go through the comments later, but I'm presenting now, so I'm not reading the comments. Hopefully, if I will be able to scroll back, maybe I will scroll back when I'm starting to discuss after a few minutes.
If your mother tongue is English, then they would like to hire you for some specific position, like English speaking person.
Yes, there are companies which are using, like for example, Finvector, they use mainly English, and they wanted to hire people who are good in speaking English. And I hear there are other few companies which are using that. Okay, his point. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Rosie, for the rose. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Yes, I will continue. Another thing is language requirement. This also affects the availability of jobs. Why? But I would say to some extent, not like 100% is the reason you can find a job. Only to some extent. And so one of the things is that you have to know some jobs have a policy that you have to have a certain level of language, maybe A1 or B2 or something like that. Some of the jobs need you to have that because it's a policy. So that will affect, but also some of the environment need at least a certain basic level of Finnish skill. For example, if you want to work as a sales person, you will be talking to people. Not everyone is very comfortable speaking English when it comes to customers. So to avoid that tenseness, in communicating with the people, having a Finnish language, at least the basic level, is always convenient to most of the employers. But also, for example, if you want to work as a nurse, also you would need at least some basic. You don't need to be so much fluent, but at least when they can detect the basic, you can speak some basic words, you can hear some basic words, you can communicate, then it improves the chance for you getting a job. It is not a guarantee you will get a job, but at least it improves the chance that you may get a job as long as you have other things which they need. But also another factor which may affect when it comes to seeking a job is narratives. Narratives on limitations. There is a narrative, for example, very powerful now, which says, as a foreigner, you cannot find a professional job in Finland. Yeah, many people are talking about this, like forget professional jobs if you're a foreigner in Finland, which to some extent could be true, but to some extent maybe it's not true. Maybe there are some companies which are open, to allow people to come and work. But the thing is, after you have heard this and you have accepted, then you are very likely to let them go. So maybe there could have been an opportunity somewhere which you could have got, but because you already know they need an engineer, definitely I will not get it because I'm a foreigner. You just let it go. Or definitely I will not get it because I'm not speaking Finnish language, so I'm not applying for it. So all you do now is you approve, like you don't deserve that position. And actually, this is the case to most of the foreigners now because people are doing what? It's good for survival, but most of them, they have no time to apply for jobs anymore. They're like, man, we can't get jobs. Let me just do what? Maybe something will come up, and hoping somebody will just go someday and say, hey, you are looking for a job, please. Here's the job, please come. Which will never happen. So people are just doing what, or if someone managed to get a cleaning job, they just do cleaning, they don't apply, they don't make any efforts to look for jobs which correlate to their talent. So this is the very big case nowadays. Yeah, but okay, I have some suggestions. I will try to go very fast so that I finish my presentation soon. So this is what I suggest you should do. Number one, before you even start to send your applications, make sure you build the connection. If you came as a student, your years as a student, use them to build connections. Connections not just to students, but to the employers. And how do I say to the employers? This can be through events. There are companies which host events regularly. Of course, for them, it's a marketing opportunity, but for you, it's a connection opportunity. So make sure you go to the events. Some companies have some programs. For example, FinVector, they do some training some days. And actually, I've even seen on their website, they're looking for partners. If you are engaging in any community development activity, they say, we are ready to partner with you so that we can do some stuff together. This is a big opportunity to connect. But also, there are communities around which do different things. So, for example, again, here in Kuopio, we have communities such as Compassy. A lot of things are going on there. We have language clubs and something like that. So you always go and give people a chance to know you. Because number one factor, as I spoke before, is network. And network, the only factors which determines how your network is going to benefit you is if people in your network, they know you and they trust in your ability to produce value, but also they trust in your character, that this guy can be trusted. Yeah, if you don't get these things, forget. You will send applications. Again, number two, when I was talking about networking, I said that, we have a lot number of people, but very minimum opportunities. So what happens after 500 people have sent their CVs to a recruiter? Do you think a recruiter can go through 500 CVs? No, they only go to those people whom have sparkled, attention. And attention can be sparkled. Either she has received a call. Please, there's a guy who has sent an application. I know him. Please take a look at his CV. They take a look. Or they have known you before. Then okay, I will take a look. That's what happens. So you have to find a way to let other people know you and trust you and know that you actually have something to do. So, and that was point number two, find a way to demonstrate your value, demonstrate the skills. This is why when joining a community, like my friend here, she's sitting here. Maybe you can see her later if she agrees. Now I know she's good with IT and she's good with social media. Why? Because we just met through some community activity. And then she helped out some. There was a challenge in the event last week, and then she went there and helped out. And then people knew, like, oh, you can do this. So you can do the same thing. Join any community, and then find a way to demonstrate your skill by trying to help something. You can even suggest, even if they don't do anything. But also talk about your talent. Don't make it a priority topic, like you just meet people and telling them what do you do. No, but always people have a tendency of asking, so what do you do? Why are you here? What do you do? And most of the people, especially students, when they are being asked, so what do you do? They're like, I'm a student. I studied Savonia, which is the right answer, but I'll say it's not a good one. Always, if you want to be found in the network, start with your talent. Identify with your talent. What do you do? I am a photographer. Oh, a photographer. So you have a business? No, at the moment I'm studying at the university, but I'm a photographer. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. This is what I am doing at the moment. But also ask for a chance to contribute. If you see there is any problem anywhere, ask to help. International people in Kuopio, maybe in Finland, we don't have this. People are waiting to be called. Please, can you help me this? And then they would come. That works against you. Because people are like, especially the Finns, they would never tell you, because by telling you to do something, they are invading your personal space. And they respect. This has nothing to do with hate or racism, but it's a culture. In Finland, you don't just go to somebody and tell them to do something. You don't do that. That is considered rude. You are invading somebody's personal space. But if you just go to the event and then you see maybe someone is struggling with a camera, or anything is not technically well, just jump in and ask to help. Can I help? Do you need any help? Definitely you will hear, yes, please help us, if you have seen somebody struggling. Yeah, but don't wait to be called. If you don't do anything, nobody will know anything about you, and that will work against you. But also demonstrate the character after you've been given a chance to contribute. Show them that you can be relied upon, that you can be trusted. Be there on time, behave yourself, put yourself in a shape that anyone can feel safe around. Anybody can feel good when you are around. But number 4, tell your needs. Like I said in point number 2, tell about your talents. Again, so number 4, tell about your needs. So tell your friends. Call your friends. Tell them you're looking for a job. This is how I got my second job. I just called my friends. I told them I'm looking for a job. I need to apply for my permit. But my income now, because now I was doing this posting and the income was very low. It was not enough to apply for a resident permit. So I had to call some friends and I got a job. It was very, very much quick. So tell your friends that you need a job, but also your network. And again, in your network, don't make it a first topic. But when somebody asks you, so what are you doing now? Tell them your talent. Tell them you're looking for a job, but don't make it a key topic, that the key topic here is me looking for a job, because this is what international people do. They have no interest in anything else. All they want is, do you have a job for me? If you don't have a job for me, I'm going to go out. So this is the mentality. And it's really annoying to most of the employers. They're like, so you're only interested in what you want. This is selfish. Do you care about what I want? Most people don't care. They're like, if you don't have a job, then please, bye-bye. Yeah, which is very much repulsive to the employers. Yeah, another thing is show up. Again, this is on building your character, showing people that you can be relied upon. Yeah, so show up, help people remember you. By showing up, you're actually, you can come to people's mind quicker. It's not that those people, even when it comes to you, perhaps there are some people that you have met a year ago, but you can barely remember them now. If I would say, please name one person which comes quickly to your mind. You have a big chance of naming somebody you have just met a few days ago or just a few hours ago. Not because those people you met last year, they are not important, no, but it's how we have been programmed. So we are also operating like through random access memory. It only stores what has recently happened. Yeah, so when you show up to the communities, you show up to the programs, to the events, they remember you. You may not get a job right away, but the thing is, should any opportunity come like very quickly, then exactly they know who to call. That has also happened to me several times, because I've been showing up to most of the event and then somebody just made a call, hey, there's something here, please check it out. And this is how I got also my my research assistant job. Somebody just remembered me because we have been discussing more often, and there has been a lot of people that he was knowing, and I think he was even more closer to them, but maybe they were far. Tell your needs. I think I already discussed this one. Send applications. Yeah, still, despite the fact that 80% of jobs are not truly public, this does not mean that you should stop sending your applications. Send applications. Sometimes a very small chance could still be a case. Even if they say, there is a 0.1 chance of success, that 0.1 could be the case in that instance. Yeah, so still send applications, but make it as a backup. Don't make this as a main or a primary thing, because most people are relying on this. They're just sending applications and hope to get something. I would say, no, this should be a backup plan that maybe if anything else fails, maybe there could be a chance here. Yeah, but you should not make this your priority or your primary plan when looking for a job. But also make follow-up before, during, and after the application. If you are sending an application to a particular companies, call them at least before. One benefit when you're looking for a job is that you need to be able to create attention from the employers. You need to make noise. They need to know there is a guy who has sent an application here. How do you do that? Make a call before the application, or even visit them physically. Ask them, please, what kind of person do you need? You try to be, you show them as if you are curious, but the reality is that you want them to remember you. You ask them, what kind of person do you need? What should I do to get this opportunity? Something like that. And then even during the application, ask them different questions. Ask them even about the CV. Ask them, how can I improve my CV in order to be a better candidate here? They might not say, please, we can't help you. But the thing is, they will definitely know that among the 500 people who sent applications, there is this one guy here who is disturbing us. And this can be your advantage. But also after the application, continue to make follow-up. Ask them what happened. If they rejected you, ask them, how about the other opportunity? Do you have any other opportunities in the future? This can help. But also consider applying for a professional course. Actually, I forgot to edit this PowerPoint, but the other option is, studying for a professional course. When I say professional course, I mean, for example, there are universities here in Kuopio. We have Savonia, Ammatikoulu, where students are being taught, hands-on skills. Maybe sewing, nursing, cleaning. According to the explanation that I got, because I visited actually this university last week, and according to those people who are running these courses, they say the efficiency is high for those people graduating from those universities. And I think I know why. Yes, I know why, because every student has to go for an internship. And if you are good enough in taking benefit of your internship, you always give yourself a big chance of being recruited, because working with them for 1 month, then at least they can see you, how you behave, how much you work, any value that you produce. Yeah, but most of the people, they don't know how to take advantage of the internships. They are always like, if the employee is not around, they are like this, or just on the phone until the employer comes back. But if there are cameras, they can see, or they don't see any results in whatever they are using, then they would know, this guy is not good. So majority of students, they are always going for the internships to play. Yeah, but it's a place where you have to find a way to demonstrate that you are valuable to that place. Yes. This was the point. Yeah, take advantage of their internship. So this was my other slide. I think it's one of the last. Yeah, demonstrate your value and establish your reliability. But also, you must remember the last thing, that it takes time. If you have connected with people today, it doesn't mean tomorrow you will get a job. Doesn't mean. And some people get frustrated. They think, you told us if we'd come to your event, then we will network with people and they will give us job. And then they ask me after a week, where's the job now? You lied. No, it doesn't happen like that. Yes, but the good thing is that as long as somebody has just remembered there is a guy who is looking for an opportunity, if any opportunity arises, they exactly know who to call. They exactly know who to hire. This has happened to a lot of people who have been persistent enough, who have been patient, who have been consistent in demonstrating their value. This has benefited them greatly. So thank you. That is all I wanted to talk to you. And I think this is the end of my presentation.